Morning, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday and a chance to wrap up this month of these different like themed recipes about what to add so we can take care of our support network. Last week was good, talk about accountability and ownership. But as we wrap up the month, it's trying to find out what's the energy, the juice that really brings something to relationships, and joy and fun have been the two ingredients we haven't talked about. But I think it's essential to really like glue those relationships together and connect people in a stronger, more intimate way and something they look forward to. It creates a good connection. So, writing on Monday about just three aspects to this that are important. And the first one is simply those people in your support network. Maybe there's a really close primary group. You should know what they love to do for fun and enjoyment, because the more you can connect with them doing what they love, then the more worthy they feel, the more trusted they are about you'll come to their aid. And again, the solidifying of that relationship happens when you're doing something they really enjoy. So the second one is about know your list of fun things to do. What is it that you will pursue that you know when you're done at the end, it just has this kind of pleasurable, sustainable feeling afterwards that you can continue. But an important third point was made, and that's to ask the people in your support network how they think you're doing it, having fun and joy with them. It just removes any surprises, or you think you're doing a good job and you find out you're really not doing a good job when it comes to engaging with them, doing something they love. So it's a lot of effort to be able to do that. Fun just doesn't happen easily. You have to plan and scheme and create opportunities for that, and we'll talk about it through the day this morning. But two intentional efforts to make on your exercises this week is first, work on your list. Like way too often, people don't have enough things they do for fun or enjoyment, or maybe they're not as accessible as we'd like them to be. And then, secondly, if there's something that gets in the way of you having fun or enjoyment, really seek to mitigate that and make sure that you're not giving too much time. It's robbing you of the fun and energy and joy that you do have. How can you overcome it? So, a little bit of reflection this week and thinking about yourself in a specific way. But as we wrap up the month and come to our final week of additional recommendations, now we've got 20 that I've spoken about on Wednesdays and some other ones we've written about on Mondays. So you've got this nice, two and a half dozen, 3 dozen things that help you take care of those around you. So here's the ones this week about fun. I think that when you are intentional with those fun activities in the people around you, it reduces stress for both sides of that equation. You have a chance to step out of your own world a little bit and engage and support and serve somebody else. And obviously, they're going to feel like it's a good escape for them. So both sides of that stress equation are going to go down. The second one is as you engage in those activities, it might be someone else's preference, is watch your nonverbal kind of presentation as it goes forward, because that doesn't suck the joy and fun out of something more when someone else you can tell is just not enjoying this situation. So really seeking to make sure that your nonverbals aren't killing the mood of something. Even a question earlier today about like, what if that's really hard to do? My suggestion is create a new activity that's somewhere in the middle. Because if it's hard to kind of go way over to what someone else enjoys and it's really taxing you, then identify a new train right in the middle where you both feel like it's a little different, it's a little new, it's a little awkward, but then you're kind of building that up together, and chances are you'll have the same level of enjoyment and good stories to tell if it was a terrible idea. So that is something to pay attention to. I mentioned about worth and trust. I think that that active participation does create that worth and trust in the support network. So when they feel like you value them and you need something, they're going to return and value you in your moment of need. And when fun and joy are present, the point I'm making here is that I think it carries people through difficult times. It doesn't change it, it doesn't erase it, but when you need a break, when you need a little reprieve or some extra energy because it's been a long day, week, month, year, then when you have those activities to do, it's much easier to step into it. And finally, one of those things I like to talk about a lot is unless you've dedicated time to having fun and energy, it's not going to happen. So you have to be able to be intentional about that through the course of a day, week, or month for sure. One of those three where you are setting aside the things you want to do on your list or that someone near you wants to do with you. So it takes us to our question. There's two sides to this one today. The first one is, what is your go-to activity that if somebody outside of you, someone in your support network says, hey, I want you to come do this with me, what would be the activity you would drop everything and go do with them? So if the group asks you to join, what would you say yes, because it would be fun and enjoying the time with them and it would be beneficial?
Go play pickleball.
Pickleball. Okay. Someone invites you, you're like, I'm in. Okay. Others?
Go see a band or go camping and ideally both.
Outdoor music festival. Okay. Combine those two things. Yes. Popular answers throughout the day today. Both of those. So you see the value of that when someone asks you to participate in something and it kind of resonates with you a bit, it's good to go and participate with them. How about the other side of that question is, what do you love to do, but if you add additional people to it, it's even better. Now maybe it's the same answer, but thinking, what do you love, but if you added more people, it suddenly goes from good to great. And it really has a good effect. What's an example of something that you enjoy, but if there's another person or 10 people with you, it's even better?
Going out to breakfast.
Going out to breakfast. Certainly 9 a.m. is going to answer that one that way. Yes.
Go boating.
Boating. It's a good one, yeah. Get a bunch of people out on the pontoon. Yeah. Others?
I was thinking something similar, like going to the beach. Being near water, just being with people or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And as I like to answer the question, sometimes I like camping, but I've had a chance to lead like a father-son camping for almost 20 years, and that is a lot of fun. I mean, camping is good, restful, and relaxing, but when you add 5 or 6 other families and a bunch of other boys, it's a lot of energy and a lot of fun. So it reinforces like, already signed up for next year, kind of stuff. So it does take fun and enjoyment higher. It solidifies it. You know it's important. You won't forget about it. You'll prioritize it. And that's important to these relationships around us. So some final comments here, just echoing the first one, that if you don't dedicate time to having fun, the joy is not going to be present that you need it to be there. Like pleasure and satisfaction just don't happen in our life with how busy we are or the things we can consume on media or the people around us. So we have to create the intention and the space for it. I also think that as life is hard and difficult, remembering that when you are finding those fun things to do for yourself, it will sustain you where you can even have some joy in difficult times. Now, that's really a high level goal, but to be able to say, like this last point, that joy and fun kind of help reinvigorate hope and faith that you're going to be okay, or the people around you are going to be okay. Because when pain is constant and there's no reprieve, it's relentless and discouraging and brings you down. But when you can just step out of it, even for a little bit of time, it is like life-giving a little bit. And suddenly you can see ahead. And I think that's where faith and hope start to show up again. And that's important for all of us, no matter what we face. So we've had a great month to talk about these words. If you remember, it's about the first one being an effective and attentive listener, right? And we talked last week about accountability and ownership. The second week, we talked about availability and vulnerability. But this last week about fun and enjoyment. That's quite a recipe and a package to make sure that you are a pleasurable person in that support network. That people will look to you and you can look to them, and there's a lot of energy. And that's what we count on when life gets difficult. So it's good to see everybody, and I hope you have a great workout, a great day, and a great week. And I'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you.